Good Tuesday morning, Mount Olive Church family and friends. Hope everybody's having a great start to the week here, and we're going to continue on for devotions. Get my screen going here. So, Pastor's devotion on Monday. Hope you got to catch it and get my Bible out here. But as he gave a good devotion Monday, he made a good point in there. We're all going to face death. Sometimes that's hard to think about, hard to talk about, but it's something that we are all going to face. I hope you caught it. So Monday or Sunday sermon, tale of two men and the rich man and Lazarus. Today, Pastor went with death on Monday. I'm going to go with life for Tuesday's devotion. And I found this little thing I put on the screen. I like this picture. It says the good life isn't from God, but it's with God. I really like that. The good life isn't from God. It's with God. So I'm going to use in Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 21. And this was issue number one, talking about life with the sermon Sunday that the Lord gave the pastor. So it says there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and he fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate. Keep that in mind. I highlighted that. That's where we're going to go here today. Which was laid at his gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores, and Pastor talked about that was the only friends that he had, and that was the lowest of the low. Those dogs, and come up, and that was all he had. That was his companions. But I want to go back to this point here of being laid at the gate. I want to talk about that and the three takeaways here that I want to touch on from this point number one. And we see that the rich man, and we know that we talked about Sunday, Pastor did, that he was laid at his gate every day, that Lazarus was laid there every day. And we see just how he was, and he had to be carried. He had to be placed there. But he talked about takeaway number one with the rich man and being full of pride and empty of compassion. That really stuck with me. Full of pride and empty of compassion. And when we're full of pride, we don't have any room for compassion. We need to have a life with God brings about more compassion. But the more pride we have, it seems like the more we'll push compassion out because we don't have the room for it. And so who is that today that's at our gate that we need to have compassion for? The second takeaway that I put down here was, what do I do with my blessings that matters? And what do I do with my blessings that matter? And I misspelled that a little bit, but what do I do with my blessings that matter? And what I do with my blessings that matters. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference. What a difference the rich man could have made in Lazarus' life, and what an impact he could have made, and what impact we can make with the blessings that we give. They're given to us by God. They're not ours anyway, so we should be sharing those with those around us, and with the Lazarus, those that are laid at our gate. And then the third takeaway, how do we feel about and treat those left at our gate? What's our first reaction? What is our first reaction when someone's laid at our gate? Do we set ourselves above them? Does pride kick in, or do we show compassion? But I want to go back here. I want to end this on the second point right here that says, what I do with my blessings matters. So I want to read you this quote, and if you can't see it on my screen, and I come across this Monday afternoon reading a story or reading a news article. And this came from the floods in Kentucky, and I was reading some stuff on that. This quote really spoke to me. It really touched my heart, and I'll tell you why in just a second. It says, "I want our church family to know." This is a quote from a pastor in a paper. He says, "I want our church family to know, not only are we so appreciative of what people have done for us and given us, but we also have a part to give." I'm going to read that one more time. I want our church family to know. He was giving this interview, and this is what he said. I want our church family to know, not only are we so appreciative of what people have done for us and given us, but we also have a part to give. Not only volunteering, but listen to this, but of everything we still possess. These people lost their seats in their sanctuary. They lost their stage. They lost all their sound music. They pretty much lost about everything. The reason I know that is because this is the first church that we went to Sunday before last, Cornerstone Baptist Church in Whitesburg. And I was reading through their pastor, Frank Holbrook. We met that day, a fine man of God, and he prayed over us before we left that day. But I was reading his quote in the paper, and this is it. I put it on the screen. I want our church family to know not only are we appreciative of what people have done for us and given us, but we have a part to give. And that's not only volunteering our time, he said, but of everything we still possess. And they lost it all. They had very little left. But they still knew of what they had they could share with others. That is taking your blessings and blessing those around you, using those blessings so that they matter. I thought that was just a great, great testimony right there of using their blessings. They lost it all. But what they still had, they were going to use to bless other people with. That's amazing. Look for somebody laying at your gate today. Somebody is laying at your gate, and somebody has been coming to your gate, and God has placed them in your life. Look for them today and use your blessings to bless them. Love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and remember to pray for me. I'll keep praying for you. God bless.